If there is a journey that is both ancient and unfolding right now, it is the journey of a single drop of water. It doesn't begin with the sound of rain hitting the ground. It begins with the quiet disappearance off the surface of the sea. A lake, damp soil, even leaves still holding beads of dew. Under sunlight, water evaporates, becoming so light it turns into part of the air itself. We can't see it, but we can sense it, in the salt scent of the ocean, in the warmth rising from asphalt after a shower, in the thin mist drifting through a forest at dawn. In that moment, the drop is no longer a drop. It becomes an invisible promise that the sky will return to the earth what the earth has given away. As water vapor rises, it doesn't travel straight like an arrow. It is pushed by wind, lifted by warm air, carried upward by convection's invisible elevators, moving through layer after layer of the atmosphere. Each meter higher is a little colder, and that cold is the threshold of transformation. The vapor begins to slow, begins to search for something to hold on to. It might be a tiny grain of dust blown from a desert thousands of kilometers away. It might be sea salt suspended in the wind. It might be pollen drifting up from a forest in bloom. These microscopic particles become condensation nuclei, where vapor gathers into tiny droplets so small that an entire cloud can hang in the air without falling. A cloud, after all, is not a harmless ball of white cotton. It is a working factory. Inside it, billions of microscopic water droplets float, collide, split apart, and merge again. From a distance, it looks calm, but step inside and you would find air currents twisting like streets in an invisible city. Updrafts lift tiny droplets higher, then release them downward, then pull them up again. These cycles give water time to grow. Some droplets become supercooled still liquid even below zero. They wait for a touch, for a small ice seed to cross into another world. In colder cloud layers, water begins to freeze into crystals. Fragile hexagonal shapes appear, glittering in dim light. And here is the strange part. Within the same cloud, supercooled liquid droplets can coexist with ice crystals. That coexistence creates a competition. Ice crystals tend to draw in water vapor and grow quickly, becoming heavier fragments of ice. When they fall into warmer air, they may melt, returning to liquid. Or, if the updraft is strong enough, they are lifted again, freezing once more, becoming hailstones fed by the storm.
The unique structure of these layered ice rings tells the story of the storm's intensity.
Rain begins only when a cloud can no longer hold what it has collected. Gravity wins. Larger drops start to fall from the cloud base, at first scattered, like a cautious test. Then they thicken, and the journey from sky to ground is not gentle. A drop passes through layers of air with different temperatures and humidity. Sometimes it grows by colliding and merging with others. Sometimes it shrinks by evaporating mid-fall, creating rain that never reaches the ground. Sometimes wind tears it sideways into slanted sheets. A difference of only a few degrees can turn rain into wet snow, sleet, or heavy pellets of ice that drum against the earth. When rain reaches a forest, sound becomes a symphony without music. Each canopy is a drumhead, each tree trunk a resonant column, each layer of soil a deep bowl that receives water. Rain does not fall straight to the ground. It is caught, broken into smaller streams, guided along leaves and branches, gathered into larger drops, and only then released. This slows the flow, reduces impact, and gives water time to seep downward. A forest doesn't only receive rain, it regulates rain, and in every droplet rolling along a leaf, we glimpse a delicate mechanism, nature guiding water toward where it is needed most down to the roots. Beneath the rainfall, the earth begins to drink. But the earth does not drink like a flat surface. It drinks through countless pores and cracks, through tiny tunnels made by roots and living creatures. Water sinks in, carrying nutrients, softening the soil structure, awakening seeds that have been sleeping. Some become surface runoff, slipping downhill as thin threads that join into streams. Another part sinks deeper, becoming groundwater, an invisible reservoir that can be the difference between survival and collapse in the dry season. So rain is not just a wet moment. Rain is a redistribution of life. When many small flows converge, we get a river, and a river is where a drop of water carries the story of an entire watershed. The brown of newly eroded soil, the scent of decaying leaves, the sound of stones rolling under a stronger current after rain. In steep places, water plunges into waterfalls, turning skyborne energy into the roar of rock. In lowlands, it spreads into swamps and wetlands, slowing down, settling sediment, filtering through reeds and roots. Wetlands act like a natural break, holding water when there is too much, releasing it when there is too little, helping whole ecosystems endure extremes. In the end, many rivers find their way back to the sea. At the river mouth, fresh water meets salt water, creating strange layers of mixing, an active boundary where sediment settles, where abundant food supports countless creatures. And the sea, which seems like an ending, in fact the greatest beginning. The ocean is a vast solar engine. When sunlight strikes, the surface evaporates endlessly, feeding moisture into the atmosphere like a heart pumping blood. After a long circuit, the drop returns to where it began, yet it never returns exactly the same. A drop of water does not always have to fall as rain. Sometimes it returns to the sky in a quieter form, dew. When night falls, the ground cools quickly. The air near the surface loses its ability to hold vapor, and moisture condenses into tiny beads that cling to grass, stone, spider silk, and moss. Dew is not loud or violent, but in many dry places, it is precious water. It gives plants just enough moisture to endure the night. It is the rain of darkness part of the cycle our eyes notice the least. And then, when the sun returns, everything begins again. Dew disappears, water on leaves evaporates, the ground warms, and moisture is lifted once more by convection. In the distance, new cloud clusters rise like white islands in a blue sky. The cycle repeats tireless, without needing a conductor, but it is not simply a circle. It is a delicate system, dependent on forests, on oceans, on terrain, on wind. Change one link, lose forests, warm the seas, dry the atmosphere, and the rhythm of rain changes with it. Seen from far above, one strange truth becomes clear. This planet survives because water knows how to travel. It leaves the sea to feed forests. It leaves forests to return to the sky. It falls to the ground to become streams and rivers, and then returns to the ocean again. Each drop is a messenger, carrying energy, carrying life, carrying the memory of everywhere it has been. And perhaps the most captivating thing about this journey is its humility. No drums, no declarations, only sunlight, wind, and time. The next rainfall is very likely being written right now, in a corner of the sky we haven't yet lifted our eyes to see.